Coming up next on The Voice of Alabama Politics, a surge in undecided voters. Also, turns out Mo Brooks likes raising taxes. And changes to the PSC cause an uproar. And I consulted the experts.
What's it say? Ah, shut up.
Well, try figuring that out. All this and much, much more coming up next on The V. Welcome to The Voice of Alabama Politics, where we tackle the tough issues so you have the hard facts. I'm your host, Bill Britt, and as always, I'm joined by Susan Britt, research guru extraordinaire, and the man in black, Josh Moon, columnist and investigative reporter at APR. Welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Hi, guys.
Hey, it's actually dark blue.
Oh, is it dark blue? Okay,
it's a
the
dark
man in
blue.
dark blue.
Yeah.
It doesn't have quite the same ring, Josh. But
I know it doesn't. I should have just left it alone. You're right. Man in black. We're going man in
The
black.
man,
It
the man
looks-
in Navy.
It looks, yeah, in the Navy.
right.
You know, it looks good though. You're sharp.
It's good. It's a solid auburn blue. It's a solid auburn blue.
So,
Yeah, that's my problem with
I
it.
got you. I
Yeah.
got you. Hey, interesting poll came out this week, and you can take polls for what they are or what they are not, but it basically measured the race against the lieutenant governor's race and the Senate race, and the Senate race and lieutenant governor's race are starting to be the two most important races we're seeing, and while Barry Moore and Steve Marshall are close, it does show Marshall in the lead. Now, in the lieutenant governor's race, it shows Wes Allen by a large margin, but the poll was done right after John Wall announced, so he hasn't had time enough to get his name out there. The curious thing, Josh, or Susan, whoever wants to jump in here, is that the Trump endorsement is not having the effect that it once had, where you're unifying behind a single candidate. So that was a weakening of the Trump effect, and also that there's so many undecideds. I mean, that's a big deal. Whoever wants to jump in.
Yeah, well, I'll jump in if it's okay, because
That's right.
it's about time that the Trump endorsement didn't mean anything, because what the hell does that guy know about Alabama? Nothing. He doesn't know anything about Alabama or any of the people here. He never has, and so it's nice to see that we're finally getting back to, hopefully, to people who are saying, look, y'all got to do something. Okay, you got to show me something. You got to tell me something. You got to prove to me that you're gonna fix these problems that affect me and my family here. And I think that's what's reflected in the overwhelming number of undecideds right now. There's a lot of people, I think, who are sitting on the fence in all of these races, not just the two that we've mentioned. I think in all of these races there are a lot of people who are sitting on the fence, and I think Democrat has become a dirty word in Alabama over the course of the last several years and stuff. But all of a sudden they found themselves basically without a home, and now they're trying to decide whether or not they want to admit publicly that the Democrats have the best ideas.
Well, and Susan, the 43% are undecided in the primary vote. These are Republicans. 43% in the Moore-Marshall race, and then in the other race, it's 59% undecided among Republicans. There's more people in that field, and that's where some of the other numbers are going. But that's a huge undecided when the primary is less than 80 days away.
Something like that. And what we're seeing here too is that these numbers aren't really moving. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how large the undecideds are all the way down the ballot, and the numbers aren't moving. People still either don't know what they want, don't like what they see. So this is a pretty big deal, and this is something that any of these candidates that are underdogs in this are going to have to work on. Now, Barry Moore got a $5 million infusion this week.
Right, that was huge.
That was huge
campaign
in that race.
Money coming in for Moore from a crypto super PAC.
Yep.
I think that shifts the race dramatically.
It does.
Because Steve Marshall's fundraising is reached a roadblock.
It has.
He's not getting any
slowed
money.
down. It is hit a speed bump and has really, really started to trickle off.
And as we know, Josh, that money is the mother's milk of politics, and they're on that crypto teat right now. So
Right.
I mean, $5 million in crypto coming at to promote you in the state of Alabama will buy you a whole lot of airtime.
Yeah, no, it really will. We had this similar thing happen back during the race for the second congressional district when Shamari Figures, had a huge dump of crypto money in the primary in that race, and it propelled him over the top. Because it just allows you to do so much. It solves basically the name recognition issue that you have. Because, you
Right.
can just send stuff out to everybody, run ads. You can do all sorts of different things. And so I think that is going to be a big boost for him. I mean, it's also nice to know why my crypto investments took such a tumble last week. Listen, it's look, good for Barry Moore. I think y'all are right. That folks aren't seeing what. Anything that they like in these races, and that's hey, some people need to figure that out. Really, I mean, whoever does, and it's obvious that the tactics that Steve Marshall has tried so far with some of the things, the old school, hard right stuff is not weighing on people.
No. It's not, and Moore, while still being a solid Trump conservative and has come out talking about Sharia law and all that, he's just got a lot of money backing him right now. And I tell you, if any of those crypto people want to support APR or the B, I mean,
Right.
I don't have an account, but I can set one up pretty quick.
I've got one. I've got some accounts, my man. I mean,
geez.
I've been into Bitcoin for a long time now, and Litecoin and Ethereum and all sorts of stuff.
You don't even need a 501c4 with
No,
that, man.
no, you don't. No, you don't. It's look, but in all seriousness, I think I'll tell you what's going to happen. I think is they're setting this thing up where somebody who is a stable, just a regular person that comes in and addresses a few key issues can drive right up the middle of this thing. Lieutenant governor's race, I would not be surprised to see Rick Pate, to start to take off a little bit, because people are going to start looking for another option. If they can't latch on to what the people want, they're going to start looking for a quiet option, just like Robert Bentley was back several years ago. They just get tired of the noise and they start looking for something stable and normal.
Well, God knows we do not need another Robert Bentley. I mean, talk about a disgraced governor.
Oh my God.
He ranks up there among the worst. I mean,
I didn't mean
I know what you meant.
all the breast grabbing and stuff. I just meant,
That's what came to mind.
La, 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 la.
All right, anyway, you're watching the voice of Alabama politics. We'll be right back.
Your home is your most valuable asset. But what if someone tried to steal it from you? Property fraud is one of the fastest growing areas of fraud in the country today.
As a district attorney, I've seen firsthand the devastating effects of property fraud. That's why I'm proud to support the Montgomery County Probate Court's REACT program.
REACT is designed to protect your property and to give you peace of mind. By signing up, you'll receive an email notification if a document is filed against your property.
This program is a game changer. It has the potential to prevent fraud and protect countless homeowners throughout Montgomery County.
So don't wait. Sign up for REACT today and protect your home.
Protect your home with REACT. Sign up today.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
Welcome back to the V, the voice of Alabama politics. A 3-bill package has been introduced, and it is the Alabama Affordability Protection Plan, and it does several things that seem to make sense to me. Now, the devil's always in the details, but it seems to make sense to me. One is that when a big data center is placed in a community, the data center has to carry its load as far as electricity and other utilities, so it doesn't jack up the rates around that community like it has in other places. That, to me, would sound like...
How is that ever not a thing?
I don't know.
How is that ever not a thing? That they could come in and drive up the rates for everybody else. I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No. I mean, you're absolutely right.
It's kind of like my neighbor paying part of my power bill, it sounds like to me.
Well, for the studio,
Yeah,
right?
right,
You know,
right.
We install the studio, we draw
Yeah.
more power,
Yeah.
and then the neighbor's power goes up. That wouldn't make much sense, but
No, I don't understand how anybody ever thought, oh yeah, okay, let's make the poor folks that are working every day pay for the data center that's driving Meta. I mean, have y'all seen Meta's earnings? They're doing okay. Let's make them pay a little bit more.
Yeah. I know, and it does make a lot of sense to make the data centers pay their own way instead of.
Boy, if we
shipping
only had a
families.
regulatory agency that handled these things.
Well, that's coming up. That's coming up. They're tackling the incentives that they give these companies. That they put in there that there has to be a measurable public benefit. And y'all both know this story. Years ago, I went over to where they were giving out billions of dollars to these corporations, and I said, "Well, do you have any metrics that shows where the Alabama people are getting anything back from this?" And they were like, "Well, no." And I said, "Well, is it because you don't want people to know that we're not getting crap back?" And they were like, "What do you mean?"
Should
They
I
were
bring
very indignant.
Can I bring up
Susan,
Dyson Krupp?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, but did they show you the photos of all the places they got to travel to? I mean, come on.
I know.
But listen,
Junkets everywhere.
I said a couple months back that there has been a huge change in the Economic Development Office over the course of the last several years, and there are some good people over there running it now. Matter of fact, I know some of the folks up at the top. I know what they do, and they will be happy now to give you that information and show you exactly what it is. And so that sort of transparency always lends some credibility to everybody.
And I agree. The group they have now is doing a great job, and they are prepared to give you measurable benefits that these projects have for the state of Alabama.
And the thing that made me upset at that time was that the state didn't know. That they weren't doing their own internal bookkeeping to try to figure out if there were indeed any benefits from having given these incentives. I mean, it's just accounting 101. I mean, it's investment 101 that they didn't keep up with, but now they are. And I think that's very reasonable and very, very responsible.
And they're looking to put even more guardrails, Josh, on these economic incentive packages, which I think bodes well for these two portions, right? I think these two portions make a lot of sense. Now, we go over to the third one, which I'm going to say makes plenty of sense to me. And this is where they want to go and take the Public Service Commission, which is a 3-member commission. These people are elected to office, and they want to replace it with a appointed board, appointed by the governor, lieutenant governor, speaker of the House, so on, and approved by the Senate. The argument is you're taking away people's votes. People don't like that. The majority of states in the country do have appointed boards. My take on this is, right now, you've got maybe one commissioner that knows what they're doing. The rest of them,
Who is that?
well, I'm not naming names, so you can make your own decision.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, historically,
Okay.
this has not been the best bunch in the world. Now, some of them I think the world of, but not the best bunch. What they want to do is start a commission that you have to have certain qualifications, professional qualifications, to serve on that board. Again, who knows where this is going? Because anytime you tell people you're going to take away their right to vote, they get angry,
But
Josh.
I also have to say, I'm sorry, Josh, I just have to say this. As a voter, before I got heavily involved in Alabama politics, the PSC portion of my ballot, I didn't have any idea who those people were.
No.
I didn't have any idea. And your average voter is not going to know that.
Right.
You know, so they're not going to know if they're qualified. They're not going to know if they've got a brain in their head. Your average voter is just not.
Well, I can tell you,
I think we've proven that.
I know, but I just had to get that in. Sorry for interrupting, Josh. Go ahead.
No, listen. I think we've proven that that over the course of time. I mean, for most of my adult life, this board has been. I mean, it's been atrocious. Let's be honest. I think I wrote the other day that literal lumps of coal would have been better to serve the people. But listen, you're right. Whenever you tell people you're going to take away their right to vote on some things, then they get upset about this because this is America and that's what we do, And so I understand the outrage and I understand the problems. I think what could have helped these folks out a whole lot is if they had done a little bit more work on the front end of this thing and explained to some people what was in the bill, in addition to the qualifications and some of the limitations that were put on, the donations and that sort of thing that could come from the power companies and that kind of, But and it's not, that's the other thing about this thing. It's not just power companies. Everybody focuses on one company all the time, and we know which company that is. But they regulate your phone service, all of these different, the internet stuff is going through there, the gas lines. Yeah. I mean, I asked some people in Birmingham about the gas lines when they blew up a few years ago and what goes on there. So, they do all sorts of things that are related seriously to safety issues as well. And so, we should take this more seriously, and there should be professional people on that board. I just, it's been so mishandled at this point, and I think they could have done themselves also some favors if they had more balanced out who was going to do the selecting of the people. If they had made it a more bipartisan issue and allowed whoever was going to pick these folks to be a more bipartisan collection of lawmakers, I think that would have helped a whole lot as well.
Well, and who knows where it's going to go, but again, you can be of two minds on which way you want to go on this, but I always say, go to the Italo Walmart and ask 100 people who or what is the PSC, and if one of them answers you, boy, you've got a winner. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to leave it right there. You're watching the voice of Alabama politics. We'll be right back.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Alabama has a hands-free driving law, and that means you can't hold your mobile phone while making a call. Oh, and no writing messages, recording, or watching videos either. Plus, you can only use a single button or swipe of a finger to answer a call. So what's a driver to do? Alabama's hands-free driving law is in effect. Follow it.
Welcome back to the V, the voice of Alabama politics. You know, Mo Brooks, excuse me, has spent about 50 years of his life in politics. And in that time, the 10 years he was in the U.S. House of Representatives, he accomplished nothing but renaming a post office. That's it, out of 10 years. Now, before that, he served in the Alabama House of Representatives, and he is running again to serve in that position against Mr. Lomax, who is, could be his son. He is a professional. He's young, energetic, instead of Mo, who looks like the crypt keeper let him out on the weekends, right? But Susan, I think you discovered that Mr. Brooks, in his time in the State House, was a tax raiser. He loved raising taxes. So I'm going to give you the floor.
He did. He raised taxes. He voted to raise taxes over 100 times during his tenure there. He also, in '84, he voted to raise the individual income tax from 5% to 6%. But now when he went to the U.S. House, he acted like he was Mr. Anti-Tax. You know, he voted that way. But when he was in Alabama, he wanted to raise our taxes.
Josh, this guy wanted to raise taxes on people, corporations. He voted for that big road project tax back then, the first one.
The gas tax.
The gas tax. I mean, he was a tax 'em all kind of dude.
Yeah, well, let me go ahead and end Mo Brooks's campaign here. Most of the taxes that he voted for, I would have supported. And so Mo Brooks has got Josh Moon's support. It all goes back to the phoniness of Mo Brooks. Okay,
Yeah.
it's all part of this. Whatever is good at the moment for Mo Brooks, that's what he's about. All right, look at his entire history, and this is who he has been all along. Whatever works for him, that's what he does at the moment. Whether it's hating on Trump or loving Trump, or taking the Trump endorsement, or then bashing Trump and trying to turn him in, and make a claim that he's done something illegal, or the tax issue, or it's endless. It's literally endless. If you look back at his record, he goes back and forth all the time on any issue for whatever benefits him at the time.
Yeah, and that's really
What he said.
the kind of thing that voters need to, if you are consistent about your own personal interests rather than the interests of the people, how can you be a good representative? But
That's not representing people. That's representing yourself.
well, and the thing is, young Mr. Lomax, who's not that young, but compared to Mo Brooks, this is an up and comer. He's not particularly radical or anything else, which
Thank
fits
God.
that district. It fits that district. So
Because that's up in the Madison County area.
he's up in Madison, Huntsville area, which I just doesn't make any sense. But they've so gerrymandered it that who knows what will happen. I do want to talk about a couple things right here. There's what you call the jobs bill, Josh, and what it has to do is it's a tax issue on the racetracks that have these historical racetrack machines. So you want to break down what this bill is, and it's been getting this noise that, this is a gambling bill. It is not a gambling bill. It is a tax bill.
No, it's definitely not a gambling bill. There's one in Macon. There's one in Mobile. Now, it's related in some small way to gambling.
It is related to gambling.
It's related to gambling, but it's not. But I'll say this: it does not in any way expand any gaming. It does not allow anybody to do anything that they're not currently doing. It does not allow anybody to make any changes to the gaming that's currently going on at all. All it does is it changes the way taxes are collected on these games. And what it's going to ultimately do is provide the folks in Mobile at the Mobile Greyhound Park and at Victoryland is going to provide them with an opportunity when you change these tax structures around and they can then bring in these better machines, because the machines machines are set up under this different way that they collect the money, and that way will allow them to bring in better machines, and then they can start expansion. And I was told the other day that if this were to pass, that the Victoryland alone was going to bring in more than 1,000 employees because they were going to reopen the hotel that's there. They're going to expand the restaurant offerings that are around there, and the same thing down in Mobile. They're looking at an expansion at that place as well. And I think that we have got to stop treating gaming as though it's some oddity at this point. Okay,
right?
We've got to stop this. We've got to say these are businesses. They employ good people. They're run by good people. These are things in this community that last year alone, Victoryland gave $10 million to Macon County. $10 million.
Right.
I mean, come on. What are we talking about? Do you know any other business that's given Macon County $10 million in a year? No.
Because it's one of the poorest counties, if not the poorest county in the state.
And nobody has any complaints at all about the business. None.
No, and even Steve Marshall says these are legal. They're okay.
And here, what we're talking about, don't mistake the fact that when Josh is saying expansion, he mentioned expansion of gaming. What we're talking about is expansion of jobs in the hotels, in the surrounding businesses. We talked about incentives.
Right.
When we first
These are going to be hospitality jobs.
Exactly. This is an incentive for them to expand the hospitality jobs and increase them by 1,000 to 1,500 jobs.
I mean, if anybody came to Etowah County or Gadsden and went to Craig Ford, who's a great mayor, by the way, and said, look, if you just adjust this tax a little bit, make it fair, I can bring in 1,500 new jobs. You know how quickly a pragmatic mayor would be?
Listen, man. Up here in Athens, just the other day, there was a story about the mayor and the council in Athens handing over $600,000 in incentives for a freaking Olive Garden. All right? That's going to employ 150 people max. All right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's what we're talking about here. You're simply changing around. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that nobody's talking about out of this. The state is ultimately going to make more revenue through the tax change.
Sure. Right. And it's really, I mean, the state is going to get more taxes on this. There'll be more employees who will be paying state taxes and actually lift the quality of life for once for the people of Macon County and Mobile. But unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it right there. You've been watching the voice of Alabama politics. You watch us because we watch them.